From the very beginning, humans have been looking for ways to travel from a place to another. The first thing we used were animals. Then, we evolved the way we travel to get us to this point, traveling using cars powered by engines. Nowadays, we see beautiful cars running on the streets, but have you ever asked yourself what is inside of a car?
If you open a car bonnet, you see a lot of mechanical and electrical components. The very first one you'll focus on is called engine, a machine known by all of us, used to power a car by converting different types of energies. But what is inside of the engine? What are those pieces that make real the movement of a car? Let's start from the top to the bottom.
On the top of the engine is located the camshaft, that is a rotating object, usually made of metal, that contains the cans. Camshaft is used to operate the valves. But what is the function of a valve in an engine? A valve is a component used in internal combustion engines to allow or restrict the flow of fuel such as gas oil or gasoline, or the flow of gas. There are two types of valves. The first one is the intake valve that opens at the proper moment in the cycle to allow the fuel air mixture to be drawn into the cylinder. The second one is the exhaust valve. That's the smaller valve of the two valves, and by the exhaust valve the gases of the combustion generated on the cylinder goes out.
Under the camshaft we can also see the block. It is the middle part of the engine, and there are located the cylinders that are the power unit of engines, and it's when the pistons are and where the fuel is burned. If you didn't know what a piston is, that's no big deal. I'm gonna tell you. Pistons are essential components in a combustion engine. Pistons are used to convert the fuel, chemical energy, into mechanical energy used to power the car. Around the piston, there are small circumferences that contain pieces of metal that are called piston rings. Their main functions are sealing the combustion chamber, avoiding the risk of losing liquid and gases, and maintaining the proper quantity of oil between the piston and the cylinder wall. Pistons move up and down in a linear motion, but then a piston converts this linear motion into rotational motion to transmit it to the wheels. This piece is called crankshaft, and it is where the pistons are fastened.
Under the block, there's a third main part of an engine, the sump. That's the piece which contains engine oils to lubricate all the parts of an engine. Well, we already explained what an engine is and what it has. Now I'm going to tell you how it works. There are many types of engine, but all of them work similar. The most common type of engine and the most used is a 4-stroke engine. It is a type of internal combustion engine in which the piston completes 4 separate strokes while turning the crankshaft. But the question here is, what are those 4 strokes? The first one is the intake stroke. In this stroke, the piston goes down and the intake valve is open, allowing the fuel and air mixture get into the combustion chamber.
Hey, stop it there. I need to explain this. The combustion chamber is the space between the piston when it is in the top dead center and the camshaft that is in the top of the cylinder. That is the place where the fuel is burned.
The second one is compression stroke. The piston goes up, compressing the fuel air mixture. The third one is the power stroke. A spark plug ignites the fuel air mixture.
Okay, parenthesis here. The spark plug is a device that is located on the top of the cylinder of an internal combustion engine that provides sparks to ignite the fuel mixture. Okay, you can continue.
A spark plug ignites the fuel air mixture. The mixture is burned, creating an explosion that causes that the piston goes down again. The last one is the exhaust stroke. The piston goes up, taking out all the gases produced by the combustion. There are also 2-stroke engines that do the same 4-stroke but only in more evolution of the crankshaft.
In diesel engines, the third stroke varies because in those types of engine, spark plugs are not necessary. The engine makes the combustion by high temperatures. In gasoline engines, the spark plug is completely necessary to ignite the fuel. Now that we know how the engine works, Another question arises: how does the engine start? Engines have an electrical start system with different components that make the start of the engine possible. The most important is the starter. That is an electric engine powered by different currents that comes from the battery. Starter is connected to the positive and negative terminals of the battery. The battery provides energy to the starter, the lights, the radio, and other electric parts in the car. But what provides energy to the battery? This component that provides energy to the battery is called alternator. This one, with the rotation that produces the engine, creates an alternate electric current that later is transformed into a direct current and goes into the battery. The engine starts actuated by a small edgy-shaped piece of metal called the